Hello, future engineers. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're still new to my channel and you like what I'm doing, please don't forget to share my videos to your friends and to your friends' friends, to your younger brothers and sisters who would want to take up engineering in the future, and to your relatives. That's one way you can keep me going, inspired, and refreshed. Now, if you find my videos interesting and important to your studies, also please don't forget to subscribe. Hello, future engineers, subscribers, viewers, and students. Here is another video in Engineers in Progress for you to enhance your skills in algebra. So, still in money, cost, and coin problems. Problem 10. The petty cash drawer of a small office contained $16.25. If there were twice as many nickels as quarters and as many dimes as nickels and quarters combined, how many coins were there? So we have to consider this statement. If there were twice as many nickels as quarters, so nickels is equal to 2 times quarters, and as many dimes as nickels and quarters combined means dimes is equal to nickels plus quarters. And since nickels is 2 times the number of quarters, so dimes is 2q plus q, so dimes is 3q. The value is $16.25 and it is equal to 0.25 of quarters plus zero point 0.1 of dimes. Substituting the value of dimes, which is plus zero point 0.05 of nickels, by the way. So the number of nickels is 2 times q, the number of dimes is 3q. So substitute 16.25 equals 0.25 of q plus zero point 0.1 of 3q plus zero point 0.05 of 2q. Simplifying 16.25 equals 0.65 of q. So the number of quarters is 16.25 divided by 0.65, and that is 25. The number of dimes is 3 times 25, so nickels 2 times 25, 50. The number of dimes 3 times 25, so 75. Therefore, the total number of coins is equal to 25 plus 50 plus 75, and that is 150. For problem 11, Kate paid $21.43 for a collection of 7 tapes. Some were on sale for $3.94 and some for $1.89. How many of each type did he buy? So if we call the number of tapes on sale at $3.94, so the value is 3.94 times x. And for 1.89 times quantity, 7 minus x, because the total number of tapes is 7. Then we equate it to 21.43. So 3.94 of x plus 1.89 of quantity 7 minus x equals 21.43. So 3.94 of x minus 1.89 of x is 2.05 of x, and it is equal to 21.43 minus 1.89 times 7. Simplifying, 2.05 of x equals 8.2. So dividing everything by 2.05, x is 8.2 divided by 2.05, and x is 4 tapes at $3.94. So the number of tapes collected at 1.89 is 3 tapes, 7 minus 4, or 3 tapes at $1.89. Problem 12, a mountain resort that featured skiing in the winter was partially staffed by college students in the summer. One summer, there were 3 times as many students employed as there were year-round employees. When September came, 40 of the students were back to school and 30 non-students were hired for the winter. If there were then twice as many non-students as students, how many people staffed the resort in the winter? So the number of people staffing the resort in the winter is equal to the number of students. So it is equal to uh, number of students in the summer, which is S, then minus 40, plus number of non-students during summer, which is minus E plus 30, because during the winter, 30 non-students were hired for the winter. So for the first statement, we call S as the number of students staffing the resort during the summer, and non-students or year-round employees as E. And it is stated here that in one summer there were 3 times as many students employed as they were year-round employees. So S is equal to 3 times E during the summer. S equals 3E. Then during the winter, 40 students were back to school, so S minus 40, and 39 students were hired for the winter. Then in that case, there were then twice as many non-students as students. So meaning to say, E is 2 times E plus 30 is equal to 2 times quantity S minus 40. So during the winter, E plus 30 is equal to 2 times quantity S minus 40. This is the number of year-round employees because 30 non-students were hired during the winter and 40 students were back to school. So summer number of students minus 40. So then it is stated here that the number of non-students, which is now E plus 30 during the winter, is twice the number of students, which is S minus 40 during the winter. Simplifying, E plus 30 equals 2 times 3E minus 40 because S is 3E. E plus 30 equals 6E minus 80. 30 plus 80 is 110. Then 6E minus E is 5E. 110 equals 5E, so E equals 22. Then S is 3 times 22. S equals 66. So during the winter, the number of staff is equal to E 66 minus 30 plus E 22 plus 30. So NW equals quantity 22 plus 30, non-students, plus students 66 minus 40 during the winter. So 52 plus 26 is 78. Problem 13. There were 11,000 people at a recent National Collegiate Athletic Association track meet who paid a total of $79,000 in entrance fees. Students paid $5 each and non-students paid $8 each. How many students attended? So the receipt for students is 5 times number of students, call that X, then plus the receipt of the non-students, 8 times quantity, 11,000 minus X, because there were 11,000 people all in all. Then that would be equated to 79,000. So 5 times X plus quantity plus 8 times quantity, 11,000 minus X, is equal to 79,000. So negative 3X plus 88,000 equals 79,000. 88,000 minus 79,000 is 9,000, and 9,000 equals 3X. So X therefore is 9,000 over 3. So X is 3,000. That's the number of students. And that's the answer for this case. Problem 14. Godi invested $2,400 in the common stock of one company and $1,280 in the stock of another. The price per share of the second was 4 fifths the price per share of the first. The next day, the price of the more expensive stock advanced $1.5 per share. The price of the other declined $0.75 per share. And as a result, the value of his investment increased $30. Find the price per share of the more expensive stock. If we call the price per share of the more expensive stock as X, then the price per share of the cheaper stock is zero point 0.8 of X because 4 fifths is zero point 0.8. The number of stocks in the more expensive investment is or stock is 2,400 over X. The number of stocks for the cheaper stock, number of shares in the cheaper stock is 1,280 over zero point 0.8 of X. So therefore, the value of the investment is 2,400 over X times 1.5. So that's the expected investment. Then because the other investment declined 0.75 per share, then it is equal to number of shares, which is 1,280 over zero point 0.8 of X times 0.75, and we equate it to 30. Again, 2,400 over X is the number of shares in the more expensive stock times the income, which is 1.5, because the other investment declined 0.75 per share, so minus uh, 1 to 80 over zero point 4, zero point 0.8 of X, 4 fifths or of X or zero point 0.8 of X times 0.75 equals 30. So 2,400 over X times 1.5 minus 1 to 80 over zero point 0.8x times 0.75 equals 30. Simplifying, 3,600 over x minus 1,200 over x equals 30. So 3,600 minus 1,200 is 2,400 over x equals 30. So x is 2,400 over 30 and x is $80 per share. So that's the price per share of the more expensive stock. Problem 15. Mrs. Johnson planned to spend $780 for fabric for her store. She found her fabric on sale at 20% less per yard than she expected and was able to buy 40 extra yards for a total cost of $832. How much fabric had she planned to buy and what was the original cost per yard? So if we call X as the original area of fabric she originally planned to buy, then the cost would be 780 divided by X. So that's the original cost per yard of the fabric. Then because she found that her fabric is on sale at 20% less per yard, so that means the original price per yard is 80% of X, and therefore she was able to buy 40 extra yards for a total cost of 832. So that means 780 divided by zero point 0.8 of X, that's the number of yards, actual number of yards, then plus additional 40 extra yards, then times uh, the price per yard equals 832. So 780 over x plus 40 times zero point 0.8 of x. This is the actual price because it is 20% less per yard. Then we equate it to 832, the actual amount she paid. Cross multiply. So we have 624 plus 0.32x, 40 times 0.8. 0.8x is 32x equals 832. So 32x is 832 minus 624, or x is $6.5 per yard. So that's the original cost per yard, and the number of yards she originally planned to buy is 780 over 6.5, and that is equal to 120 yards. Problem 16. The treasurer of Wilbanks and Company has some $10 bills and some $20 bills. How many of each type does she have if there are n altogether and a value of V? So 10 times number of $10 bills, call that X, plus 20 times quantity. The total number is N, so the number of $20 bills would be 20 minus X. Then we equate it to V. So again, 10X plus 20 times N minus X equals V. Simplifying, 10X minus 20X is negative 10X plus 20V, 20N equals V. So 20N minus V equals 10X. Dividing everything by 10, so the number of $10 bills is 20, quantity 20N minus V all over 10, while the number of $20 bills is N minus X. So N minus X is equal to N minus quantity 20N minus V over 10. N minus X is 10N minus 20N plus V. N minus X is 10N minus 20N plus V all over 10. Simplifying, N minus X equals V minus 10N all over 10. So that's the number of the $20 bills. Problem 17. A parking meter slot receives dimes and nickels. When the meter box was emptied, there were 148 coins and a total of $10.65. How many dimes were there? So the value 10.65 is equal to 0.1 of the number of dimes plus 0.05 of the number of nickels. If the number of dimes is X, then, or D, the number of dimes is D, then the number of nickels is 148 minus D. So 10.65 equals, or 0.1 D plus 0.05 of quantity 148 minus D. This is the number of nickels, 148 minus D, because the total number of coins is 148. Then this is the value of the dimes, this is the value of the nickels. Then we equate it to 10.65. So 0.1 D minus 0.05 of D is 0.05 of D, plus 0.05 times 148 is 7.4 equals 10.65. 0.05D is 10.65 minus 7.4. So D is 0.05D is 10.65 minus 7.4, and that's 3.25. So D is 3.25 or 0.05, and D is 65. So that's the number of times. So that's it for this video, and I hope that you learned something. I hope that your thinking skills, your analysis will little by little improve through this video.